All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's video. In today's video, we'll be going over Bambu's new PETG translucent. And I got a cool color of it here, so we'll take a look at it. So today we'll print out a benchy, and on their website, we'll take a look at all of their claims and what they're saying there. And they say something about wall loops and everything, so we'll take a look at that, learn about that together, and see if we can't print something that will be super cool for us to test that out. So in today's video, we'll print a little benchy on one of the prismatic plates. Maybe we'll print one of the squares on the prismatic plate to see what that looks like with the translucent. And then we'll take a look at the wall loops and see if there's a test that we can run to take a look at how that does. So if all that sounds good, then sit back and relax and I'll get everything ready. All right, so here we have our fixed dry filament dryer. And I will say this stuff looks really, really cool in the roll. So let's go ahead and get this loaded in the dryer. And then let's get it set up. So that's set at 55. In the manual it says 65 for 8 hours is what we need to dry it at. So we'll change that to 8. And once everything stops blinking, it's ready to go. This is the current temperature that it's at. This is the humidity inside. And this is the amount of hours that it's going to do that. So we'll go ahead and get this dried for the next 8 hours at 65°, and I'll see you when it gets done. All right, so here we are on the website for Bambu for this filament. It is a little expensive per roll, but if you do the bulk, it is included as one of the filaments for the bulk stuff, so that's pretty cool. Saves you a little bit of money there. Right now, it only has the filament with spool, no refills just yet, but that's pretty normal for the newer filaments. And we see that it does need to dry before use, which, as we know, we're drying that right now. So let's take a look at some of the other things that they say. Translucent appearance, robust endurance, effortless printing, minimal warping. So we'll take a look at that. This is the wall loops thing that I was talking about before. So it looks like the amount of wall loops that you do changes the amount of transparency. So I think the standard is 2. So we'll print a benchy at 2 and then we'll print it at 4 wall loops or whatever and see if the benchy looks any different. You'll see that they have some vases or whatever in here. So maybe we'll try a vase with 2 and 4 as well and see if that makes a difference in it. But as you can see, lots of really cool applications of stuff that you can do here. And you can read through all of this stuff on your own as well. And we have the translucent teal is the one that we'll be looking at today. And then again, the dry setting 65°C for 8 hours. All of this stuff I'm sure is in there, but I don't change any of this, especially with the Bambu filaments. I've had really good luck without, changing any of these things. So we'll go ahead and get the roll out. Once it's done drying, we'll go ahead and get the roll and get it loaded in the AMS. All right, so here we are in Bambu Studio. You can see that we have everything synced back up, and we have the PETG translucent right here. We have the Lenny setup here, which is just the normal 20 millimeter or 0.2 millimeter standard, this setting, without support checked and without the brim added to it. Otherwise, everything is exactly the same. So here's the benchy that we normally print. Under strength, we'll see that the wall loops is 2, and that's what I think they were referring to in that graph that we saw on the website. So this is normal at 2. We'll leave it at 2, and once it's done printing, we'll print another one, and we'll move this up to 4 or 5, whatever the max was. I'll go back and look, and we'll put it on the max and see if it makes any change on this. And if it does, then maybe we'll try 1 on this one and see if it makes this kind of see-through, which I doubt it will. But we'll take a look at what this does with 2, then we'll take a look at what it does with 4. So let's go ahead and get it printed. Let's see what kind of time it takes for the benchy and PETG translucent. In just under 2 hours. We will be using a prismatic plate, so I do have the PEI plate selected there. I'll go ahead and let it do its calibration with the LiDAR since I have the X1C, and we'll go ahead and get this printed out. So I'll see you when it gets done. All right, so take a look at this. It turned out really cool. You can see the kind of the grid pattern through it. So I don't know how well the camera is going to pick this up. But it looks really, really cool and printed out pretty awesome. Let me try to change the light here. All right, there's a good angle where you can see. So what's cool about this that I see right away is you can see the infill pattern that you do in your prints. So some of those weird or, you know, kind of cool infill patterns that we did in the infill pattern test, this would be good filament to put some of that really cool stuff behind it. So as you can see in there, it looks really, really cool. So that was on wall loop 2. So now let's print 1, and that's what the carbon fiber looks like on there. Put a pretty interesting little effect on there. So now let's look at what the wall loop of 4 or 5 will look like on there. Let's jump in the slicer and see what options we have. So I'll meet you there. All right, so here we are on Bambu's website again, and here's the wall loop guide. And you know, we did wall loop of 2, and this looks pretty accurate to what I saw in the print. So now let's try the maximum here at wall loop 4 and print the benchy at that. All right, so now let's go to wall loops and let's change that to 4. And let's go ahead and hit slice. And it's going to take about 2 hours, a little bit longer. And we'll go ahead and print it. I'll see you when it gets done. All right, so let's take a look at the one with the 4 walls on there. And honestly, I don't see a huge difference on the little benchy or whatever. So I don't see a huge difference between 2 walls and 4 walls on there. Still printed out really, really good. There's a couple little defects on it there on the 4 wall. But I don't see much of a difference in, you know, how clear it is or anything like that. So let's go ahead and try to print a vase now. All right, here we are back in Bambu Studio, and I went ahead and made a vase in the vase maker and maker world real quick. And we'll go ahead and put it in a spiral vase mode. And the thing to note about that is a wall of 0, I think, or a wall of 1. I think it's a wall of 1. So we'll print this one out in the spiral vase mode, and then I'll download this exact same vase in non-spiral mode, and we'll do it with like 4 wall loop or something like that. So let's go ahead and print this out, and I'll see you when it gets done. All right, and here's the vase that we made really quick. And the first thing that I'll say is this thing is super thin, but looks really cool. Did have a little boo-boo on the bottom there, but you can see the sparkles from the circles in there, but it's still printed in the vase mode, but it just looks really cool. I'm really impressed with what it looks like doing that. So now let's change the vase into normal mode with a little bit thicker walls and everything, and print it in with a 4 wall loop and see what that looks like. All right, so here we are in Maker Lab with that same vase, and I moved it from spiral vase to normal vase with a wall thickness of 1. So we'll see that it has a little bit thicker of a wall. So I'll go ahead and download that and open it up in Studio, and we'll go ahead and get it printed out. All right, so here we are back in Bambu Studio, and we'll see that the models look a little bit different. So we do need to take this out of vase mode, so we can uncheck it, or we can hit that rewind button there. We'll go back to the strength, and we'll change that to 4. And we'll change everything back that it had to do for vase mode there, that it goes ahead and changes. So change this back down to 1. We're going to change it to 4 so it has a little bit thicker of a print, and we'll see what it looks like compared to that other one where when it was on 1 it was very see-through. Okay, so let's go ahead and slice this and see how long that's going to take. All right, about 1.5 hours. So I'll see you when it gets done. All right, so now you can see a good difference between the two. This one being with 4 wall loops, this one just being with 1 in the spiral mode or the vase mode or whatever. And you'll see the little circle showed up on the bottom. I don't know how well the camera is going to pick that up, but this looks really cool. And this is a very interesting look to your 3D prints. So I would think things like cases for a Raspberry Pi or something like that would be good things. Vases look really cool. Like this looks really nice. It turned out really good with the thicker walls and everything. So I was really impressed with that. Looked really good. So I'd highly recommend getting some of this and trying it out on some of your prints. Didn't stick the best to the prismatic plates, the PETG, but it did get the job done. But other than that, I really am impressed with it. I'm going to make a larger vase like this. I think it looks really cool. I saw some pictures of some flowers and stuff too, so I think that looks really cool. But I would definitely recommend getting some of this. It's really cool stuff, and something that will you know, take your prints to the next level. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and be sure to smash that like button and hit the subscribe, and I'll see everybody next week. Thanks everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye.